What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I am joined once again by the man himself, Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I am infinitely awesome. Thank you for asking. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Gotta dust it off.
Nice. What gets that dust off your chest? Cause I'm not trying to get sued by nobody left. What's going on, Spider?
Not much, man. We are back again talking about one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I'm talking about Spider-Man.
I would have never guessed that. What? Didn't see the correlation. Oh, the mug. Okay. All right. Yeah. Drive the point on home.
Gotta just all the way home.
In your fluid. All right. It's web fluid in your face.
Oh no. God, no.
Spider-Man. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're talking about the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I thought this was Spider-Man first class official
Spider-Man freshman year.
Freshman origin story. What happened to that?
They changed the title up.
Why do we pivot off of that?
I mean, they changed titles for all sorts of stupid reasons.
Hey, I told you, Marvel will change up on you. They'll switch up on you.
Yeah.
They'll give you no warning. They'll tell you one thing. You'll be in the movie watching something else.
I mean, because they did that with Infinity War. Because originally it was supposed to be Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. And then they changed Part 2 to Endgame.
Why, though?
They thought it would be a better fit for what was happening in the movie.
Was it, though?
I mean, that was the end game.
Because then it was like, I think they made it a thing. They made it a thing like, you'll never guess what the title is. And it's like, well, we can guess what the title is. It's Infinity War Part 2. It's like, no, it's something else. And it's like, why are we playing with titles? And it's like, has it been said before? No, it's never been said before. And then they double back down.
It was said before. It was said twice.
Said before. It's like, this is the end game. Like, they'll switch it up on you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Clearly, again, they switched it up. So this is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yes.
Episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah, with their stupid, ridiculous schedule. Don't know why, but that's the way that they did it. So we're getting 10 episodes in 4 weeks. How does that make sense?
This is their stuff. They're going to release it when they want to. Does it make sense? Of course it doesn't. Does it get you talking about it? Of course it does. Yeah. Does that mean you're talking about them? Here we are.
We're talking about them. Good light or bad light? What they say, all press is good press?
Yes. There's no such thing as bad press.
I mean, I still disagree with that, but that's a motto that a lot of these companies live by.
We're talking about it.
Yeah.
So clearly, and then we're making a show about it to get other people to talk about it, unless they talk about us. I mean, you can talk about us.
You can talk about us. Let us know what you said about us, because we want to know.
In the comments.
But if you didn't know, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpowered movies, TV show, even trailers. We watch them, we react to them, we break them down, and we ask the question, is it super?
It's super. Is it?
Is it?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Probably not. We be doing the Moses. All original music, y'all can't sue nobody.
I mean, that is true. But if you like that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when there's new episodes out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, click the link in the description below.
And pay attention, because a lot of stuff's going to happen. It's going to happen pretty fast. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
That's very true. But yes,
you saw that.
So like I said, 10 episodes in 4 weeks. We had the first 2 episodes released on January 29th. Then we have the next 3 episodes coming out on February 5th.
Way, big gap in the middle, because we gave you 2. settle down.
Well, I mean, it's a week. It's just a week gap. We're getting more episodes than Agatha All Along in a week span, but we're getting fewer episodes than What If being released every day.
I can't make it make sense.
I don't think anybody can make it make sense.
I can't. Oh, what is that? Here's the thing. I don't think they figured it out yet at all.
Clearly not.
The release schedule. Well, I had high hopes.
And here's the thing. I was like, the only reason they would do something like this because we have Captain America Brave New World coming out February 14th. So I was like, maybe they're trying to cram all the episodes in order to get them all out before Captain America comes out. But they don't, because the episodes 6 through 8 come out February 12th, which is 2 days before Captain America comes out, and we still have 2 more episodes to come out after that. So Captain America will be out, and then we still have 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man coming out after that. So what was the point? Either release it earlier, because they could have bumped it up a week.
Yeah, we had a whole week after, well, the last thing that was on Disney
was What If.
What If? And since then, we had 2 weeks, haven't we?
What If ended a full month before Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man came out.
Okay, well, there you go. I was off by 2. So you're right. They could have introduced
They could have bumped it up a week, and then we would have had the season finale come out 2 days before Captain America comes out. We'd have been done with Spider-Man, transition right into Captain America.
But here's what you're not realizing with that situation, Spider. That would make sense. and we know Disney, Marvel don't do things that make sense. They do things that make money.
That is a fair assessment.
They're gonna do what's best for them, because here's the thing. Because here's the rumbles, and I'm just telling you what the sheets are saying, not streets. The sheets.
Oh, you got the script.
Are saying they're saying Cap's not gonna do that well. They're saying test footage is, on the mid side of what's going on with Cap, and it's kind of too late to go back and do reshoots and add-ons. And I don't understand. I thought they really tested it way before then, not like prior to the release date. That's ballsy. That's risky. That's crazy. But here's the thing. If it doesn't do well, you still have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man to come right back to, right? You got a couple more episodes.
I mean, but here's the
thing.
Carry
you over until the Thunderbolts.
We have the last 2 episodes after Captain America comes out. But we have reviewed a lot of these Disney Plus shows, we know that there has been a string of series that have struggled to end the season or to end the series. That last 2 episodes generally tend to miss the mark.
We've seen them fumble the ball.
Yes.
We've seen them fumble the ball many a times. Just all 4th and down, and it's just Jello hands.
4th and goal. You're on the 1 yard line, and you decide to throw the ball instead of canning it to Marshawn Lynch to just run it in and score the touchdown.
It could have been so easy, but it's almost like you got oil on your hands. You just can't hope, They want to do what makes money, not what makes sense. I can respect it.
But why can't it be one and the same?
Spider, because what makes sense don't make money.
Does it not? I feel I feel like they've made a lot of things that made sense and it made money.
Spider, they got a talking raccoon and a talking tree. Well, I mean, it don't make sense.
That goes back into the comics. We can't fault the MCU for that.
Well, okay. I will say the stuff that they do don't make sense. And financially, I don't see how it makes money as well. By dropping episodes, for example, day after day after day after day, is appreciated by some, but for shows like ours that theorizes and make content for that, you kind of know on them because they can't cover all that in that time frame, which may be why they dropped just 2 episodes with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man versus just the one and making us wait. I always say the golden number is 3, right? 3 episodes. If you want to get someone involved in your show, you drop 3 episodes. That way you have a gradual build. You get to feel the vibe and the tone of the show. You get invested in the characters, the core characters of who are we following, what's going on with them, why do we care in those 3 episodes.
Right.
They dropped 2. Do you think they achieved the same mission in the 2 episode dropped? I mean, that says a lot right there.
I feel like we got a good taste of Peter Parker in those 2 episodes. We get a sense of Peter's ideals, who Peter is. We get the sense that Peter is pretty smart. We don't really get to see him use too much of those smarts. We're basically just, it's the whole thing we've been talking about, the show don't tell, where we've got characters expressing how they admire how smart Peter is, but we don't really get to see him do like any type of complex problem solving to showcase his intellect. Like we get Lonnie talking about how much what's the girl that he's trying to get after, Pearl?
Yes.
Yeah, we get Lonnie telling Peter, Pearl's always talking about how smart you are, so I want to be your science lab partner. We get Peter going home and Norman Osborn is there. I've heard about how genius you are, and I want you to be an intern at my company. We get
the sheets are talking.
So we get all of these people talking about how smart Peter is, but we don't get to see Peter actually be smart. We get to see a little bit of his heroic ideals, wanting to save people. We see him, despite his responsibilities that he has in his personal life, he sees danger and he goes to try to stop it and try to save people.
Remember when they had Tobey Maguire run down the street and open his chest like Superman? You saw the spider emblem?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to drop that right there for no reason whatsoever. Just go ahead. Finish. That's the call to action. Dun, da, 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 but it's more like Spider-Man.
Right.
But we got a hint of that. We got a hint of that in the show when Peter was going inside his backpack and saw that meatloaf and mashed potatoes that Aunt May made for him.
That was oatmeal and toast.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
No wonder he said,
because he was getting ready to leave, and she said, your oatmeal was getting cold, so I packed it up for you. Why she gave it to him in a bag as if Tupperware containers don't exist, I don't know.
Hey, don't judge Aunt May, okay?
I will absolutely judge Aunt May for the sole reason of her putting oatmeal in a Ziploc bag. That was the dumbest decision.
Like, you never had... Why? You never had a piping bag? You got a piping bag, for pastries.
But it would be different if it was a piping bag and not a Ziploc bag.
I'm trying to help Aunt May. I'm trying to help because I don't know how to get the toast
There
out.
is no justifiable reason for her to give this child oatmeal in a bag and then just shove the toast in there. Because, you want your toast to be crispy.
This is why
it's going to be oatmeal soaked toast.
And whether it was at Homecoming or Far From Home, that the Homeland they were going to call child services.
That was No Way Home.
There's No Way Home.
Yeah,
they were going to call
DODC said that her allowing him to be Spider-Man was child endangerment,
reckless endangerment. Yeah, that's crazy. Different universe, but in this universe, it's weird. Because you get that call to action and then they find out it's the breakfast. It's like, he's already. No, he's not. We didn't see the initial thing happening, and then we were there. We saw it actually bite him. We know this spider came from
another dimension.
Universe. Why do we do that? Is it because we're threatened by Miles Morales' story? Like, why do we do that?
I
They had
don't
an
know.
opportunity to keep to the origin story, but we did something different.
And
this is a multiversal story.
Here's the thing, that when they did it in Miles Morales, it wasn't that the spider dropped out of a interdimensional portal and bit Miles, because we see in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that this portal opens up right above the school. This symbiote looking creature,
this is the
comes out and starts wreaking havoc. And then
it's
Dr.
a Venom
Strange,
variant of some kind.
It's some kind of Venom variant. It looks like, and I'm looking at the image, it looks like the mixture of Venom and Kraven almost. The body build and like the little ruffles on the back had a very Kraven-esque look to it.
I was thinking that, but then the whole pointy
side like the facial
alien shit.
So I don't know. It's like an amalgamation of a bunch of different things.
Screw you, Marvel. You could have defined that. You could have defined that.
But for the Venom creature to come through and then Doctor Strange to come through and then they're having their battle. But just all of a sudden, this spider just drops down.
Right.
Through the portal.
No idea where it's from.
No clue where it's coming from.
At least Miles Morales has have a temptation where it comes from. We can track it. No, just okay. I had a moment.
Now that was probably the at least for the first episode was my biggest like what? Right. Just after the oatmeal.
And then
after the oatmeal, but it was like just the spider just coming down through the portal. I was like, well, what is it connected to? Where is it coming from?
Right.
Like,
and why does it look this way? Because,
I don't know. They're already making some choices, and it's not because the tried and true
oatmeal in a bag is a choice.
Putting oatmeal in a bag is a choice, but the tried and true origin story is that the spider is genetically altered.
And here's the thing that I'm having an issue with, though, Spider, because Miles Morales' story is the story that breaks canon. But now you come and you bring this story in,
now
which breaks canon.
When you say it breaks canon,
I know we're into two different universes, but these incursions got my mind melding together because they're acknowledging all Elseworld stories. They're acknowledging it. Even though they're acknowledging it, we're saying we're acknowledging it, but we're not taking their what is it? How did you say it? Not content. We're not taking their terminology. You're not taking their thought processes. And I'm missing the word.
I'm not sure where you're heading.
Philosophies. We're not taking their we're taking them, but we're not taking their stuff, their thought, their laws, or whatever would regulate them, right? Because they're acknowledging that they exist from all these other Sony properties, all these other X-Men from different multiverses. We're acknowledging they exist, but your MacGuffins we're not taking, right? We're not taking none of your thought process. We're not taking none of your entities. So we're going to say
who are we talking about right now?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Miles Morales. Sonyverse, MCU.
Okay.
So it's no secret at some point Miles Morales will enter the MCU.
Right.
At some point he's coming. Unless you're establishing he's already there and he's going to get bit by a spider, if you bring the spider Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse, and this is nothing guaranteeing saying that they're doing it this way, I'm just speculating that if they bring that Miles over, because he's already multiversal hopping, I can't see how he may not end up in the 616, which is supposed to be the main MCU, that he won't have his story intact. If you already have that building, it all depends on how nice they want to play with Sony.
Right.
It all depends. So that's a what if. But they won't, they have to acknowledge his story. You can't take him and on everything that defined him as him and says, oh, we have Miles Morales now, we're going to do another origin story. His story is so pivotal in breaking canon the canon events. You have to let your dad die. You have to let Uncle Ben die. You have to let Captain Stacy die. You have to let your uncle die. It's pivotal to Spider-Man's character. That was the thing that made Miles' story stick out. By Miles choosing to say, nah, I'm going to do things my own way. I'm going to save my dad. I'm going to save. I could do both. I could do anything. I'm Spider-Man. So he's off to do that. Now, here you come, Marvel. I like that. I like it. I'm going to give that to Peter Parker. And you get this random spider coming out of a portal from Doctor Strange and a symbiote. Now, the symbiote did have its spider logo on it, so maybe, I don't know. It did not? Well, it did not. Got to get my lenses checked. Got to get that checked. Got to get those new ones with the translator in them, like Star-Lord. So it's just weird. But because what defined this one is now what you're taking and you're saying, well, this defines our Peter Parker.
Just that
it's not his traditional origin story. I know that.
No, it's not. But the thing about it is that we're talking about just the spider. It's not that in the sense of having a spider come from another dimension being the reason that Peter Parker gets his spider powers. Yeah, it's going against the traditional way that he would normally get the spider powers in the comics and all of the other series and the video games and the other TV shows. But
everywhere.
Even though that was what we saw for Miles in the Sony animated movies, we still have Miles has shown up in other animated series. We've had Miles show up in video games. We had Miles show up in the comic books. The Sony animated universe is the only one where he has the spider came from another dimension. So with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man doing that, I don't feel like they're taking Miles's origin stories, because I don't think that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, this Peter Parker, is going to be of that, oh, I'm breaking canon, I'm going against what all of these other universal Peter Parkers, all of these other characters have done. This is they're, for whatever reason, deciding to change up the way that this Peter Parker has gotten his powers, because even in the MCU, we don't know how Tom Holland's Spider-Man or Tom Holland's Peter Parker got his powers. We just know that a spider bit him, because in the 616 universe, there is no Oscorp. There's no Norman Osborn. So there's no Oscorp to have been testing on the spiders in order for one spider to escape, or Peter, go into Oscorp and bump into a case, or a spider somehow gets on him to bite him or anything like that. So we're still getting
to get that answer.
What in MCU? No, we're not revisiting his origins at any point.
Even in a flashback?
Maybe in a flashback, because we really just got a reference to it in Homecoming when he was talking to Ned about it, but. And then on top of that, we don't even know if this series is connected to the MCU in any way.
It's all connected.
Is it though?
It's all connected.
I'm not 100% sure about that, because if you think about it this way,
even Across the Spider-Verse acknowledges Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
No, I understand that, but we're introducing characters now, which is supposed to be earlier in Spider-Man's life, because this is freshman year. In the MCU, he was a junior or senior going into his senior year, because now he's going off he was about to go off to college, whatever. But now we have
still go to college. Spider.
No, I know, but I'm saying
GED doesn't mean you can't go to college.
But we don't see him graduating, is what I'm saying. So I don't know if he was a junior. Was there a ceremony?
There's no ceremony in the movie. I'm saying sure there is a ceremony.
Tobey Maguire got a ceremony. No, that was Tobey Maguire got a ceremony, didn't he? Didn't he graduate? Yeah, he graduated. Andrew Garfield got a graduation.
Andrew Garfield graduated. He got there late, but he got there.
Did they not have a graduation with Toby? No, because he finished. He was in high school in the first one.
No, Toby did graduate.
No, I know he graduated.
High school graduated.
That was a high school graduation for sure.
Oh, wow.
But wasn't. I'm trying to remember if they actually showed the graduation. Yeah, because Norman was there and he was impressed that Harry actually finished.
I just didn't know if it was high school or college.
Yeah, that was high school because then he had to get a job or internship, and he was trying to work at the Daily Bugle and all that kind of stuff.
Well, you still got to get a job after college. So.
Well, yeah, but no, he because he was working in Spider-Man 2. He was in Dr. Connor's class in college, and he was failing at first.
Well,
I mean, but anyway, so. I don't think that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man Peter Parker, his origin and the way that he's going to develop his timeline, I don't think that he is taking from Miles Morales.
Time out.
Okay.
You do know Homecoming and Far From Home, the character of Ned was a Miles Morales' counterpart. He was this guy in the
chair. He was basically
so they took Ned and gave him to Peter. They took him.
Well, I mean,
it's their stuff. They can do what they want.
It's a different character in the comics of Genki Lee, and they took Ned Leeds and kind of made him the best friend of Peter, the way that Genki was the best friend of Miles in the comics. Because we didn't get a best friend character until the end of Into the Spider-Verse, where he started to make friends with his roommate, and then we still haven't even gotten that character fleshed out. They're not
friends. He's still in his shoes.
Well, I mean, he thought they were friends enough to be able to take his shoes.
He won't even call the police. What do you mean? He doesn't want to be the guy in the chair. He's like, that's a slippery slope. He's
and
like,
that's what I'm saying is because all of these different iterations of these Spider-Man characters, they're all taking liberties on the story, and they're all making them a little bit different.
Since they stole the character,
can they say that they stole them? You just said that they're all their stuff. So can you steal your own stuff? What I'm saying is
they're staking from Miles and giving it to Peter when they can create their own stuff for Peter. Why are you still snatching from Miles? Let Miles do his thing.
I don't know.
Let Miles be different. Just like, oh, this works for Miles. Let's use that for Peter. So now we got this random spider that came from anywhere.
Yeah.
That we're not going to get, we're more than likely not going to get, because Doctor Strange didn't see it. He doesn't know.
No. And Peter then doesn't the spider get away after it bit him?
It's wreaking havoc on his timeline. But if you get Silk or Gwen Stacy to become Spider-Woman in here, you have a running random spider in the timeline.
I think that it is canon that Cindy Moon was bitten by the same spider that Peter was. So we could potentially get a Silk that's bitten by the same spider.
I'm ready for Silk to hit the MCU. I'm ready for her not to play with Sony at all and bypass the Sony's nonsense and hit the MCU. I want to see who. Perfect casting, Spider. Who would you cast for Cindy Moon as Silk?
I don't know. I have no clue.
That is something I want to see. We're good with Spider-Man. He will always be the pinnacle. But let's start to get into some of these other stories with these arachnic ability individuals, and then we can have our own little team up with the Spider-Verse live action.
The most recent, I guess, how do I want to say this? The most recent nod that we've gotten to Cindy outside of the comics was in the, spoiler alert, Spider-Man 2 video game.
Not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler at all.
Is it not? Well, I mean, the game has been out for a couple years now, so
you can sleep peacefully knowing that you didn't spoil anything.
I mean, some people don't have PlayStation, so they may not have played the game.
And you know what? I'm sorry. For those who don't have PlayStation,
it's out on PC now. So if you were looking to play Spider-Man 2 and you have a PC, you can play Spider-Man 2 on your PC.
And you can watch us anytime we're on. And if we're not on, you can watch the old us, which is so packed with funny stuff to take your mind off the fact that you don't have a PlayStation 2 or 5 or whatever number they're on.
But yeah, so I mean, regardless of,
I want to give you my fan casting for.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
I don't know.
You interrupted me for that.
I think it's important to know that I don't. Did you think what's the young lady that played Beetlejuice? You think she could not Beetlejuice? It's a Wednesday.
You talking about she can Jenna Ortega?
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, she's not Asian. Cindy Moon is an Asian character.
You're so racist about it. Hollywood doesn't care about race. Hollywood doesn't even see race.
Hollywood,
I'm so glad
Hollywood
that you
sees race a little too much.
Listen, this is how good our show is. Look how you just segued into the topic, because there's been a lot of gender race swaps into this. How would that be a factor in you watching this show? African American, Norman Osborn, African American, Norman Osborn's son,
Harry,
which is Harry Osborn. Mm-hmm. Quarterback is African American.
Lonnie Lincoln was an African American in the comics.
Okay, so I just was pointing out the African American cast, but I got you. You right. I was originally talking about switching, but so you're right. You're absolutely right. Doc Connors is not only gender swap, she's also African American.
I don't know for sure if she's African American. I don't know but I know she's not a white person, but I don't know if she's African American. She could be Hispanic. Yes, she's a minority.
She could be Indian. She's just
also
darker skin.
Yes.
I also need y'all not to come for me in the comments about this, because I'm fighting for us. Okay, I'm in United Nations.
How do you not know what race she is?
The different shade of brown. I need you to slow down. Okay, so it's all in the pen. It's a different shade.
But yeah, she is a race swap and a gender swap for Dr. Connors. I don't even know what her first name was.
Not Sarah.
No, it is not Sarah Connors.
Not Sarah.
Do they have her listed? And nope, they just have her listed as Dr. Connors.
Does it matter to you, Spider?
Does it matter to me?
Should it matter to anyone? Does it matter to you first? And should it matter to anyone?
It does not matter to me when you have a character whose identity is not tied to their race.
And again, we've already seen this across the Spider-Verse. So they had a Dr. Octavius that was the same thing. She was a woman, and she was a doctor. I don't think anybody was up in arms about it.
No,
they shouldn't have been.
Because I think that the understanding of Into the Spider-Verse was that this is not our universe where we normally see Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. And so we saw, and here's another thing, and how we were talking about taking from Miles Morales and the Sony animated Into the Spider-Verse universe.
Oh, you started to point them out now, huh?
well, we saw that the police force in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is also the PDNY, the same way it is in Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse canon. So, I mean, you could have named something else. I don't know. What's up?
When you say that, I don't want to say that they're only taken from Miles, because clearly they copy beat from the Tom Holland's Spider-Man as he walked through.
Right. In Civil War.
He found the VCR in the dumpster. You got the same beat for beat. Instead of being Tony Stark, it was Norman Osborn.
Right. So they are taking inspiration from, and I'm pretty sure that probably throughout the episodes we're going to get like shot for shot reimagining some stuff from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. We might get some stuff from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. We might get some stuff from the 90s animated series Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure they're going to have some nods to that in there as well.
Oh, now listen, hold on. Before you go down this rabbit hole, because it gets deep, you might end up on the other side of the earth, Spider, because when you're talking about referencing Spider-Man, Spider-Man has so much content. It is like a spider web across a Spider-Verse or whatever Madam Web's supposed to be looking over, the Life of Destiny, web of Life of Destiny.
Right.
There's a lot they could pull from. They may want to stick to the more popular things that they want to capture, or they can dive into the less known stuff and make it relevant. They got us a big sandbox to play with.
My opinion of the whole thing is that we shouldn't necessarily have to borrow from other instances of Spider-Man. Yes. This is a new show. We're looking at a freshman year of Peter Parker. We're introducing new characters. We have Pearl, who we have not seen before in other iterations of Spider-Man. We have Nico Minoru, who we haven't had associated with Spider-Man in most other properties before. Nico Minoru was part of Runaways. And there are very few situations where Nico and Peter Parker cross paths in a lot of the more popular iterations of Peter Parker and his Spider-Man story. So we're doing things differently, but then we're still pulling from stuff that people have seen before. And I don't know what the right balance of those things. I feel like if you're gonna do an homage to something that was already created, do it that way. But if you want to do something new, just go all in and just do something new. I feel like people who watch Spider-Man created properties, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a movie, whether it's a video game, I don't think I don't want to say that. I don't think they would be upset if you're doing something differently. Like, I understand taking creative liberties, like we talked about with the spider coming through the dimensional portal rather than it being genetically altered in a lab. So clearly they're doing some things differently. But is it that they didn't have an idea to be able to do something different, or are we just paying homage to the things that we've seen before?
Or we just don't want to tell the origin story again. And this is a way that we can kind of bypass the retelling of this origin story.
We already started off the story without Uncle Ben. So we don't have an Uncle Ben. We have Spider-Man. We have Peter Parker being bit by the spider. And then we jump forward, a few months?
I think it was a couple of months.
A couple of months. So we jump forward. So we
went back to the suit, the backpack, and inside, instead of breakfast, that good old oatmeal in a bag. Now it's a suit.
Right.
And we're like, yay! He's Spider-Man. And
so we bypass we bypass him discovering his powers and his abilities. We bypass him creating his suit. We bypass him developing the web shooters. We bypass, the whole great power, great responsibility moment that drives him to be a hero. We see that he already has this heroic instinct in him, because when this symbiote monster comes through the portal, we see him jump up to defend the people around him rather than him running and hiding. So we see that's again the whole show not tell. We see Peter being heroic. We see him having that within himself before he even developed any powers. So we know that is a characteristic that he has. So why they couldn't do that for him and his intellect as well, which is also a characteristic that he has, instead of everybody just telling us how smart he is.
Ooh, hey. Don't know the answer to that one. Here's what I will tell you, though, Spider, because you segued in it when you were sharing your views and thoughts about, very eloquently, by the way. You were sharing your views and thoughts about that situation. Here's what they have established. Iron Man exists in this universe. Doctor Strange exists in this universe.
Does he, though? Because he came from another dimension, another universe, or parallel universe, parallel dimension.
He did say we're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, and Peter didn't know who Doctor Strange was.
But Iron Man exists. He's on the air freshener thingy in Aunt May's car. So
I missed that.
it could have been uh Doctor Strange from this dimension. It could have been Doctor Strange from a different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting interdimensional, symbiote thingies, grasshoppers.
Do you think we'll
The
get more
Well,
into
that was a
that?
question that I was going to ask. That's exactly right. I swear we sharing the same brain.
Look, we've been doing this for a
hive
while.
hive mind. Yeah, I was going to ask you. Do you think we're going to see other Marvel heroes or even villains inside of this? We are.
I think that they're trying to
Will we
create
see X-Men?
that. I doubt.
Well, why not? We've already signed a Fox agreement. That deal's done. We have X-Men.
Yeah.
We're peppering them throughout the MCU. We're peppering them.
I can't imagine, because one of the images that if you go to Google Images and you search for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, there's an image of like all of the different characters that we're going to see in the show. Now,
will we see the Rhino?
We have, let me see, because I see we got Daredevil, we got the anti-venom suit for Spider-Man, we got Doctor Strange, we got Iron Man. Let's see, we got Chameleon, looks like Dr. Octopus, we saw Butane. Who else do we have? It's a lot of like actual just people. What?
Well, he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. There's no need for Galactus to show up.
No, there is no need for Galactus to show up, but I don't see any, and this is clearly promotional material, so they probably didn't include any.
They'll switch it up on you. Yeah, they'll switch it up on you, Spider. Don't let them lie to you. They do it in the trailers. You saw Hulk in the trailer in Infinity War.
Yeah, he was not.
Did not see Hulk in the movie. No. In fact, Hulk told you no early.
You know who we did see? Hey, Spider-Man, do a flip. We saw that guy.
Yeah. Well, if it's a battle, in there, yeah.
In Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, he was animated into the show.
That should let you know that he's pivotal.
I mean, he showed up in Spider-Man. He showed up in Shang-Chi. Now he's showing up in this.
I think he has a podcast or something in Shang-Chi, right?
Or either a podcast or he's doing a vlog or something.
Going live or something.
Going live doing something.
You'll see. Yeah. He'll work for Shield soon.
Maybe. Maybe he already does. He's actually taking. He's monitoring all of these heroes. They're dropping him in all of these different areas because he's basically like a
Nick Fury spy scroll. He's a scroll the whole time.
He could be a scroll. I don't know. But I do believe that we'll see like other different characters. Like I said, we got Daredevil that's going to be showing up in this, but I don't think we'll see any X-Men.
Well, again, it's New York, so we're at the point now.
There's no reason that they shouldn't be there, but
there's no reason that and this is the gripe with Marvel, because you get all of these characters that you love, and then it's like you put them all into this melting pot, and then you don't allow them to cross over with each other. Cloak and Dagger is in there somewhere.
Well, it depends, because they're also
what it depends on.
Well, with Cloak and Dagger, because they're also young, and depending on where they are in their
journey,
they may not even have powers yet, so we don't know if they'll show up. I mean, yes, they could be random people walking down the street, but I mean, the Cloak and Dagger show had them down in New Orleans, so
where Remy LeBeau is? Oh, he has to
Remy LeBeau was Louisiana, but he wasn't necessarily New Orleans.
Yeah, we know he deep down in the South.
Yeah, he's in Cajun country.
You get that accent. You way down.
That's not a New Orleans accent.
You passed Plaquemine.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
What? When I came out of my father's butter, that's way down there. You passed Point LaHash. You come on now.
Oh, all right. That's Wichita. That's Opelousas. That's
further.
you talking west, like Lake Charles area, but then like further south. So you all the way down southwest,
deep south, Louisiana. But at some point in time, they're gonna have to acknowledge these other characters. instead of
No, they
giving us.
will, but I don't think they're
don't.
going to do it in this show.
Well, no, not at all. In fact, I don't foresee it happening before. It's going to be so interesting, this soft reboot, because they're continuing to come out with things like Wonder Man, right?
Right.
Clearly, that's going to be a part of the new MCU, but it's not going to have an effect on. I don't think we'll see Wonder Man in Doomsday or let's just call it Avengers 5 and 6. Okay. This is what it is.
It's Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah.
This Doomsday is Secret Wars. It's 5 and 6. I don't see Wonder Man show. Now he could, depending on how well his movie does. Because remember, they don't do things that make sense.
They do things
that make money.
Right.
So depending on how well your movie is, because I think the original plan for Deadpool and Wolverine was not to be in Doomsday or Secret Wars, but because they did a Billy, we're gonna slide them in here, even if it's a cameo. You'll be in there, even if they're sitting on the sideline saying, "You want to get involved?" Not yet.
Give them the
Wolverine
scene. Treatment, like in X-Men First Class. They walk into the, I'm Charles Xavier. I'm Eric Lesher. Fuck off.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Just go fuck yourself. I'm just gonna leave. He's clearly not.
Okay, clearly they don't want anything to do with us, so we're just
we're good.
We'll leave
it alone. Even if that's just a post-credit scene, to see those guys in the costume again after your roller coaster of events that just happened in the movie, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna watch Secret Wars, because what comes out between Secret Wars and Doomsday? This is the pivotal stuff.
And I mean, we can't even really go on that because they always change the slate. So there could be something that's planned for right now. They'll switch
up on you, Spider. They'll push goddamn Secret Wars 4 years back and give you that build up. And it should, though, if they think they should do it and do it right. I would.
No, I agree. And I've been saying that for a while now. And I was saying that that's why I appreciate them trying to scale it back, because I was hoping that with them scaling back the number of releases that they had in any given year, that'll allow them more time to be able to fine-tune the writings, fine-tune the shots, make the movies better, make the TV shows better. But it seems like since we're getting, 4 or 5 shows in 2025 on top of 3 movies, they, like you said before in our previous episodes, they said that, we're going to scale it back, and then they did 1 year last year where we only had 1 movie and maybe 2 TV shows. Like, all right, we scaled it back for a year, let's go ahead and wrap it back up again.
We gave y'all a chance to get y'all together, but now we're back.
We gave you a year to catch up on all the stuff that you missed from the past 10 years, 15 years. However long it's been since they started doing this.
Now it's almost 20 years now, dude.
Yeah, we're going 17.
Iron Man was 2008. If they want to claim Iron Man was 1, that was 2008. Yeah, it really was Blade.
Well, we're talking about MCU. We're not necessarily talking about Marvel movies. We're talking MCU.
Y'all just don't want to give a black man his credit. That's what it is. Wesley Snipes is the grandfather of the MCU.
The movie is all but scrapped at this point, so we don't know.
Listen,
they brought Blade back for Deadpool and Wolverine. So
we called this years ago. By the way, we're just gonna put that out there and say that if they did not do that, they were crazy, and they would clearly watch our show. So
I can't say that they do.
I can't say that they don't, though, because clearly he was in the movie, and I didn't hear anybody else talking about it beforehand. Only afterhand they started talking. Yeah, Wesley, Blade. We need no disrespect to Mahershala Ali, but we want another Blade movie with Wesley. And now we were saying that years before. Literally, okay, I'm tooting our horn, but if you want to know the tea, subscribe, because clearly I think what's in between Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be pivotal.
Well, as of right now, the only movie that is listed is the next Spider-Man movie.
Well, that's going to be $1 billion. I can guarantee you that. But I think they're going to squeeze some more movies in there. It's no different than what they did with Captain Marvel. They squeezed it in there. We go squeeze the Captain in there, and just drop that. Hey, she's pivotal for Endgame. Just pivotal information is in this movie. Watch this movie. Okay, $1 billion later, what did she do? She showed up, destroyed the ship, headbutt Thanos, and then that was it. Well, she saved Tony. So
did she save Tony?
Yeah, remember he was stranded.
Oh, well, she saved, at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, she saved him, and then she was gone.
Well, Captain Marvel got marriages to do. I've never understood that. They made it seem like she was doing so much. She was getting married to an opera singer. But that's her story, I guess. I don't know.
We are so far away from
the friendly neighborhood. I'm just talking about what I'm saying, the movies in between is going to be pivotal. I think, and this is what I wanted to say, this is why you should hit the subscribe button so you can follow our show and you can see that Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington, and Spider, who are also infinitely awesome, all of us are ahead of the curve, because I think they're going to push Secret Wars back. And I'm saying that now officially.
Mark it, timestamp it. Mr. VIP Frankie Washington said it first.
They're going to push it back, and they're going to give us something else, maybe a Doctor Strange 3 or something, because this is not enough time to do what they're trying to do and ensure $1 billion. And again, they don't do what makes sense. They do what makes money. It's easier for us to push Secret Wars back and give you more content to build on what we've done with the Robert Downey Jr. reveal that he's Dr. Doom. And he's going to have to slay some heroes.
But
I don't know where he's going to slay them at, because he can't slay them in Fantastic Four.
Here's my question.
There's already heroes established in that universe. What you got?
I'll pose this question, and then we'll get back to talking about the first 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I
promise it's all connected. Kevin Feige told me I could tell you guys that. No, not that part.
That's not that part. For our video watcher, you all see that Mr. VIP has changed his positioning. Last episode, we were talking about he was sitting in front of that window. We said that the Disney was coming for him. We see that he's moved his position. He's moved away from the window. But no, my question is, we've said that Disney does what makes money, not necessarily what makes sense. But my question is that, would it not be better for them to do something as far as this whole cinematic universe is concerned that makes sense? Because when the story makes sense, you have more people that can follow it. You have more people that can follow it. Statistically, you'll have more people that are interested in it because it's a cohesive story that you can track. So wouldn't that make more money?
What makes you think that that's not happening?
Because like we were just saying, we have all of these questions about why they're making these decisions. And to us, the general audience, these things don't make sense. It's not, we're not understanding why do we have a spider, just a random spider dropping through an interdimensional portal? Why do we
told you we was going to bring it back.
Why do
That's how good the show is.
Why do we have,
know we brought it back.
Why do we have the callbacks to these certain films or these certain animated properties or these certain animated,
director creativity, paying homage? We could take it as that.
We could. But then again, and not
just had the away from it's already a multiversal story. You had the ability to tell the story any way you wanted it.
Right. So why go into multiverse episode 1? Why go into multiverse episode 1 if, from the things that I've seen in promotional material, the things that we've seen and released images for the show, from the trailers of the show, it doesn't look like I don't think it's nostalgia, because it doesn't look like we're going into, because Spider-Man in the beginning, when Spider-Man was first released, it wasn't a multi-universal character. It wasn't until we got to the introduction of Madam Web and the Web of Life and Destiny that we saw different variants of Spider-Man, different Peter Parkers and different realities and all this stuff. Spider-Man wasn't that originally. So why If there's a reason for it, cool, great. I would love to see it pay off. But if not, there's no reason, because there are so many other ways that you can introduce a modified Spider to bite Peter Parker to give him powers that doesn't involve dimension hopping or reality hopping.
Right. It could came from Rexon or
Roxxon, Oscorp, AIM,
there's Oscorp here.
Stark Labs. We have Tony Stark. Iron Man is in this universe. This spider could come from anywhere that's already based into this reality, this dimension. Why do we need Doctor Strange to bring it with a symbiote monster?
I don't think you're gonna get an answer for it either.
Then that's my whole gripe.
Well, you can't say Spider because we don't know yet. This like one more episode.
I mean, we got 3 weeks before we get the next 8 episodes. So
I say one more because I know they like to shorten up and they not give you enough.
Yeah,
but
so we'll see.
We'll see if they answer it. I don't think they will, because again, Doctor Strange didn't know it was there. The symbiote that did come down didn't know it was there. Spider-Man didn't.
I don't think the symbiote was concerned.
I don't think he was. I think he was concerned about destroying what's her name? Because he looked like he was about to go in. I don't remember her name.
I don't think that was. Oh, was that Nico that was it going after? Yes, or was it just a random woman in the street?
No, I think it was Nico, because he saved Nico, and Nico feels indebted to Peter Parker now. That's why she's hanging around, I guess. But Nico is her Ned. Man, we're stealing our own stuff. Well, they're stealing their own stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, Nico is a hero in her own right. She develops her own mystical abilities. She's essentially a witch. But will we get to see that in this show?
All things super first. What? All things super first. Y'all didn't know that. Stop acting like y'all knew that.
I mean, for the people who watch The Runaways, they should know that. If anybody played The Midnight Suns, they should know that. But if anyone read the comics, they should know who Nico Minoru is.
Well, for those who don't fit those categories, Spider just enhanced your life. That's called a
Nico is a witch, yes.
Bite. He bit you. You're now bitten. That it's a spider bite.
Not what I'm
It's official. Physical. Your ears consented. You've been bitten by spiders. Every time
press play on this show.
It's gonna be a spider bite. I'm giving that to you.
The nonsense that we spit.
And I'm gonna let you know when you've been bitten, because now I'm the doctor.
But so we get the first episode of, we see Peter Parker. Of course, he's chronically late and all this other kind of stuff. He gets bitten by the spider. And
I love how you said I'm on time. It's like you're supposed to be here 15 minutes to take your ID.
Even when he's on time, to save your life. But so we get the time jump. So like I said, we don't get to see him, hone in his powers, hone in his abilities. We just get to see him swinging through and I will say that the animation of him swinging through the city was very well done.
Well, you got to give it some type of praise, Spider, because you've been dumping on it the whole time.
No, I've been dumping on it. I've been asking questions that I would love to have an answer to.
You'll never get these answers.
No, we probably won't. But no, the animation in and of itself is done really, really well. It is very comic booky. And I appreciate that, because that's essentially where the show is trying to go. It's trying to give you that nostalgic comic book feeling. And I do feel like they did that very well with the animation style. And even with some of the panels, when we see that Peter is saving Harry from being jumped midday because they're trying to get money from him, but they're also live streaming the mugging, which again, why would you go on live and showcase you robbing somebody?
Committing a crime. They tell on themselves. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do nothing. Dude, you were on live.
There was even like, I think one of the people in the chat like, why are you live streaming this? Like, we're trying to beat up this dude, take his money.
Makes sense.
Hey, why aren't you recording? He pulls out his phone and starts recording. Like, who does that?
Crazy.
But so even in that, because the guy's about to like throw a brick or something, and Peter like throws it back.
He throws the brick.
But Peter hits him in the head, and you see like the panel edit when you see all of them reacting at the same time, and they have it like done in the comic book style. So the animation I thought was done very well. Like I said, the swinging through the city, the tracking shots of actually following him instead of just staying in a fixed point and watching him swing from point to point, actually like following through, is also very well done. We saw that done in both the Spider-Verse movies as well. So
yeah, because they're stealing.
Again, I don't think it's stealing. You can't steal from stuff you own. I can't take $5 out of my right pocket and put it in my left pocket and say I stole from myself.
You stole from yourself. You stole from pocket to pocket. You transition from one side to the other side. That's still yours, but it's stolen from somewhere.
I guess.
You're not even gonna
take a 20 out of my wallet and put it in my pocket. Call it stealing from myself.
I don't know. It's just so interesting that they had the ability to do anything else.
Yeah.
And they chose to do what they did. It's just interesting.
And just, moving forward, one of the things that I won't say that I don't appreciate it, but it wasn't my favorite part of what we've seen so far, is how love struck he is with Pearl, and how he's...
Well, I told you.
What?
It's her. She was a babysitter.
Yeah, I understand that.
The obsession.
Like I say, it wasn't my favorite part. Because here's the thing, like we were talking about, Peter is supposed to be smart. He's supposed to be very intelligent.
It comes to girls.
It seems like not when it comes to anything else besides science.
Maybe not even it hasn't been determined that he's smart in science.
I mean, smart enough to land him an internship at Oscorp and get selected by Dr. Connors.
Well, that part. But what are we basing? He's not even at Midtown High, the school that he's supposed to be.
Well, because it got destroyed, so they had to go to another high school.
Again, we're different in his universe. We're just eerily weird. This feels like a what if. That's what it feels like. It feels like a what if.
Drawn out what if.
Well, what if they put this in what if? It would have fit better. So it's like a what if, because what if Spider-Man got bit by an interdimensional spider? What if Doctor Strange was fighting the symbiote beast and he couldn't go to Midtown High? What if Harry Osborn was black? What if? And here we are, because, Norman Osborn is black. Hey, what if? It's a what if story.
And that was also another thing that, of course, people were pissed off about.
The race swap?
Yeah, about the Osborns being black.
Everything's so woke, Spider.
Did you see the article that came out with the voice actor for Peter Parker for the show? What was his name?
I did not.
Hudson Thames.
What did the article say? Wait, let me cue you up.
Okay.
All things super exclusive. All things super exclusive. It's
absolutely not an exclusive.
It's not an exclusive because it came out on that, but it's an exclusive for us because we didn't talk about it before now.
True.
There you go. Cue it up.
So basically, the interviewer was asking like his general thoughts about playing a role and everything, and he was saying that of course that he was excited to have the opportunity to play Peter Parker, but he said that his biggest fear was that the show was going to be woke.
Oh,
that was his biggest fear, and he was saying that he was glad that it wasn't.
Well, he's justified in feeling that way because it's no secret that Disney, Disney has been putting out some woke agenda stuff.
Have they though? Like, would? And this is going to be like a complete tangent. One of those. But what do you consider to be quote unquote woke that they've been putting out?
Let's see. If we're going to get into the hard and potatoes about it, I think, I can't, Spider, because I don't see the woke agenda the same way as they do.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because they
I'm
feel.
trying to speak for the man babies that are mad. I'm
Please
trying to
don't
give them a
speak for them.
voice.
Please don't.
But
They're
they
loud
don't
enough.
make sense when they talk.
Exactly.
I'm trying to
and they're
help
loud
them.
enough as it is, they don't need a voice. Because the thing about it is that
guys. I try to redeem
the woke, the people who cry woke is that anything that is
I love that.
not based on from a straight white male's perspective, everybody claims it to be woke because it's a woman, it's a minority, so they say it's woke because they're doing it,
or she's green. She could be.
That's still a minority,
right? Yeah, because
that is an extreme minority.
The minority, right? Not many of them green.
But they claim that it's woke because they're just doing it to tick off these boxes. We have a minority person. We have a person who's not straight. We have a person who's not a white man. So like, they're just.
Is that why we have a black Captain America now?
No, it's not. Because it's not like the MCU created the idea of Sam Wilson being Captain America.
Sam Wilson so funny about this
in the
since
comics
we're talking
Captain
about
America first.
But it's so funny that we're talking about this in that narrative, because it's like, even if you're mad that Sam Wilson is Captain America now and you have a black Captain America, Elijah Bradley, they retconned it in the show. But he was out there first before Cap was.
But see, the thing about it is, here's what I'll tell you. They don't care.
They'll switch it up on you, Spider. They'll switch it, Spider.
Care. You can present the facts to them, and they don't care because it does not support their narrative that everything is woke. So, but basically, all I'm saying is that because it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way that the voice actor came out and said that, because it just mirrored the complaints of all of the man babies when they saw the first images of the show. They were like, Norman Osborn's black. This show is woke because they got to do all of this diversity shit just to do it. And here's the thing.
What's wrong with that?
It's never been stated that. And it's why I answered the question the way I did when you said, does it bother me if they do race switching or gender swapping or anything like that? If you take Mulan, who is based off of a historical character whose origins are of Chinese history, you make that an Indian actress. Yes, I have a problem with that because their heritage is tied to the story. If you took Black Panther and made him an Irish Italian, that's a problem because T'Challa is from Africa, where it's an African story. So T'Challa in Black Panther should be a black person.
But
you have Norman Osborn.
Isn't that what you have in this story, though? Isn't that what you have? You have a different iteration of a Spider-Man, and you have different iterations of the opposing villains.
Well, what I'm saying is that it doesn't.
Why must the villains be all African American?
What do you mean?
Norman Osborn is African American.
Yeah, Norman Osborn is African American.
And Doc. Well, we said she's a different shade.
Yeah, we don't know if she's African American. I mean, as far as it stands right now, yes, all of the people who will potentially become villains, they're all minorities.
Will they become villains?
Yeah, so and then again, we don't know if they're going to become villains because we don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, Harry Osborn, Norman Osborn, Doc Connors, Lonnie Lincoln, all minorities.
As loud as I can because I just lost audio.
Oh God! It's something on your end because I'm tracking fine on everything on my side.
The fans are watching our show. We don't have a problem with the gender swap, but it's interesting. All the villains are of a darker descent.
That is interesting. I hadn't made that connection, but yeah, that's an interesting observation.
Leave it alone, Spider. That's not this type of show. We keep it too real on here as it is.
But regardless, there's never been any type of canonization that says that Norman Osborn or any of the Osborns have to be a specific race. Their origin is not tied to their heritage. Their origin is not tied to their gender. So Norman Osborn could be an alien for all we know, or care.
He could be a Skrull.
He could be. And I'm pretty sure that probably at one point in the comics he probably was.
Hopefully.
But regardless, it doesn't take away from Norman's character or Norman's story or his motivations or his arc if he's black, white, brown, female, male, anything in between. It's still Norman Osborn will be Norman Osborn.
So why do they have an issue with it?
Because they find an issue with every fucking thing that anybody does. It doesn't matter. Even if, I guarantee you that even if we had your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and all the characters were of the same race, gender, creed, whatever that they were in the comic books from start, you would still have people that were complaining. They would still find an issue. Oh, well, Norman is from Brooklyn and he's supposed to be from the Bronx. And there's always going to be some kind of fucking complaint. It doesn't matter. They're going to find something to complain about.
Yeah, his tie don't match his
She-Hulk,
shirt.
Jennifer Walters was, I won't say she was one for one of what she was in the comic book, but she really was pretty damn close to the way she was in the comic book.
Beat for beat. Yeah,
and they still had an issue. Oh, well, she's breaking the fourth wall. Does she think she's Deadpool? She thinks she can be Wade Wilson? That was a complaint that they had. When in the comics, She-Hulk was breaking the fourth wall before Wade Wilson was. So
before Wade Wilson was even created.
So again, you present them with the facts, they don't care. They want to find something to complain about, they're going to complain. It doesn't matter. But
so this is why Disney Marvel does things that makes money, because they don't do stuff that makes sense to the man babies. They do stuff that makes money. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to push out Secret Wars and give us something. It may be a Doctor Strange 3. It may be just that Spider-Man, and I'm wrong, and then it's Spider-Man Secret Wars, but I think you're going to get a Doctor Strange in there or something else that's going to tie this in a lot better, because we don't know who to follow still. We don't know if we're following Doctor Strange because of the incursions. We don't know if we're following Loki, which we're not following Loki because Loki has to sit at the end of time, outside of time, holding the multiverse together. We know we're not following Kang, even though I thought they were going to make Kang the unofficial, somewhat hero of the multiverse, because again, what he did to stabilize the multiverse, even though it had a failsafe in it, still stabilized the multiverse. So in a way, he was a kind of a hero because it's back to norm, at least a stabilization of norm, but he's out. So we don't know who to follow. We're not sure who to follow behind. Thor's doing whatever he's doing.
Making
and again,
pancakes.
we're gonna get another Thor, and Chris Hemsworth signed on to do another Thor. Not sure who the director is, but it's clear that we may not get that before Secret Wars, or we may get it before Secret Wars.
Does not seem like it. And you're absolutely right, because like we said, they changed the slate up. They hold announcements. We might get into Comic-Con this year. Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con typically happens around July. So we might get into San Diego Comic-Con this year, and they announce like maybe 2 or 3 more movies that they're planning on releasing in between.
They could be the Thunderbolts
Doomsday and Secret World. I don't think they're going to come out with the Thunderbolts 2 that soon. No.
Well, don't say that, because
you thinking they filmed a 2 parts thing with Thunderbolts, and that's why the asterisk is there.
Well, that'd have been smart. So no,
that would have made sense. So that's not what they did.
I take that. We don't do things that make sense. We do things that make money. But you clearly were right back in action with Tom Holland being in Spider-Man 4. So the turnaround can be relatively quick.
I wouldn't say that it was quick, because last time we saw Spider-Man was in what, 2021? When did No Way Home come out?
Multiverse of Madness
no, this is
had a Spider-Man reference. I just want to put that in there.
When did Multiverse of Madness? Oh, when they were talking to America Chavez about Spider-Man?
Yeah.
But that was before No Way Home. Or was that after No Way Home?
That was after. Because he had already cast a spell.
Right.
Which was weird.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. That's what they do.
But
that's what they do.
Because we're running a long time. So let's talk about episode 2.
Right.
Okay. So episode 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was titled Amazing Fantasy, which of course is a nod to Amazing Fantasy number 15, which was the first appearance of Spider-Man in the comic books. Episode 2
This is essential now, right? This is essential that everybody does homework and you have to do.
I mean, you would think so.
Reference points. Because if you're not linking it to something that's looked at as lowbrow, like you didn't do the homework, you could have titled it this. Is this mandatory now, Spider? Is what I'm asking.
And I think, and it goes back to what I was saying about the whole thing of your balance between paying homage and then between ripping something off. Like stealing an idea or paying homage to it, because like the whole like tracking shot of Peter walking into the building and getting inside feels like it was paying homage to Civil War, whereas the Spider coming through the dimensional gateway and then biting Peter seemed like more of a ripoff. That didn't seem like something that they were paying homage to Into the Spider-Verse. It just seemed like they just stole an idea. It was like, okay, well, we'll use that. But I don't, because here's the thing, because like we said, we get Spider-Man's introduction in this show. It's different from the introduction of Spider-Man that we got in any of the other animated series, the introduction to Spider-Man that we got in the MCU, the introduction to Spider-Man that we got in Into the Spider-Verse. You know, everything's a little bit different. So I don't know if, I think that naming the first episode Amazing Fantasy is just an homage. We're acknowledging where we came from, but we're not following the exact same story that was showcased in Amazing Fantasy number 15. But of course, they do the title, they do the iconic image that we see with him swinging and him having, in the show, it's Harry under his arms, but on the cover of Amazing Fantasy 15, it's just, you know, a random person. But again, paying homage to Spider-Man's origins, where he came from in the comic book history, and then just saying, oh, this is a little nod to that here in the show. But I don't think it's like, I don't think it's something that you had to read Amazing Fantasy 15 to understand what's happening in the show.
But isn't that itself within itself stealing from Across the Spider-Verse with the comic book cover? Like, we're going to do this one last time.
And that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But again, it's like, I don't see that as stealing. I see that as sort of paying homage to, yeah, I see that as paying homage to it.
It's paying homage to the actual Spider-Man, because it is what it is.
Right.
Spider-Verse did it. You know,
but Spider-Verse did it in paying homage to the comic book cover.
Way. Yeah. Right. Okay. So it's a parody of a parody.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what it is. That's
it's
what
an homage of an homage.
It's an homage of an homage. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Two times.
So episode 2, we get titled The Parker Luck, which we know, if anybody's followed Peter Parker through any iteration of his comic books, we know that Peter Parker. Well, he's still living with Aunt May for right now, so he's not worrying about rent.
Broke his whole life.
But essentially broke his whole life. One of the questions he did ask is this internship going to be paid? And then we still didn't get an answer, because all Norman said was like, no, he said, I take care of my people. That doesn't mean that he's getting paid. That means I'll give you a nice letter of recommendation when you go off to college.
Exactly.
I'm going to take care of you.
I got you.
But we know that Peter Parker's life is not a fortunate one.
Yeah, especially with the ending being what it is. You might not get that letter.
So we get Peter and Lonnie are now lab partners in science class. So they develop a friendship, which we've seen in different iterations, where Peter makes friends with someone who eventually becomes a foe to him. We've seen it in some Spider-Man animated series. We see he becomes friends with Eddie before Eddie becomes Venom. We see him become friends with Flash. He was somewhat of a friend to Flash in the MCU, where it wasn't, you know, because we saw in Tobey's Spider-Man, Flash was more of a bully to him.
Yeah.
We saw that in Andrew's iteration, Flash was a villain to, well, not a villain, but sort of a bully to Peter until
he can't play basketball.
But until Uncle Ben was killed, and then Flash would be like, "Hey, dude, I know what you're going through. I'm here for you if you need to talk." He was
sympathetic,
right?
Yeah,
and and they completely
shoved up into the lockers. That's what you do. I ain't forget.
He's like, I understand.
Red and blues and whites don't run. Baby.
But yeah. So there's been different iterations of Peter becoming friends with people who he's gone up against as an antagonist before. So we don't know exactly when Lonnie's going to turn into Tombstone or have an accident which is going to turn him into Tombstone, because in the comics Lonnie was an albino African American, which is why his skin was like of a grayish tint instead of just as a African American kid that we see in the series.
Creative choice, but they could have, if it was woke, why wouldn't they gone that way? It's woke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought it was woke. Man, babies. I try to help y'all.
No albino representation.
Why didn't we stay true to the comics?
Because it's woke. That's why. They didn't say true to the comics because it's woke. It's woke because
it was already diversity in the comics.
Right. I don't know. Whatever. It's stupid. But
that makes money.
But we get because Lonnie's a star of the he's a star quarterback of the football team. We get the perception that Lonnie's not smart because Peter didn't want to be partnered with him, but he also didn't want to be partnered with him because he was trying to get partnered with Pearl, because again, he's dumb head over heels in love with Pearl, which I don't know about this feed. I'm guessing that Pearl's like a junior or senior, because clearly she was a couple years older than him because she had to watch him. Well, I'm not talking about the height difference. I'm talking about if she was
choice. She's tall.
She is tall.
You drew her tall for a reason. I don't know why yet.
And Peter's never been short. Yeah, Peter's never really been a short guy.
He's short in this.
He is short in this, but he's also a freshman, so he hasn't gotten his growth spurt yet.
Okay, you stole everything else. Why didn't you steal Toby getting mature?
Also, here's the thing:
spider bite
wasn't in the comic origins. Didn't Peter start when he was like 15, 16? And so freshman year, you're like 13, 14.
Hey.
So we're starting him off at Spider-Man a little bit early.
He had a babysitter. Yeah, he's just turned 14, right? He's Rick and Morty age. He just turned 14.
I mean, he's at the oldest, he's 14. And I mean, this is not factoring into how smart he's supposed to be. So if he skipped grades, he's even younger than what he was even younger than that.
What are we watching?
We're watching a kid become a superhero.
Child endangerment.
But I mean, it because the moniker of Spider-Man, which was always like a question from the villains when they find out, whenever they do find out Peter's identity as Spider-Man, it's always the reaction is, you're just a kid. It's like, you're just a kid.
Spider-Man. I'll grow into it. Don't worry about it. That's a 100% I'll grow into name.
Right. But so episode one, we already got Peter saving Harry.
Yes.
And so Harry is, kind of becoming a little infatuated, not infatuated, but starstruck by Spider-Man because he saved his life. Right. And this is supposed to be the origins of Spider-Man, and so he's not as well known friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to everyone in the city, but we saw that he saved a truck about to hit a bus, or a bus about to hit a truck, or something like that. So when he stopped,
again, we stole from Tom Holland. You can't tell me they didn't steal that from Civil War.
When did he do that in Civil War? That was
beat for beat. Remember when Tony was watching the footage?
Watching the video, yeah.
I'm just waiting for the subway scene.
Him stopping the train and holding on to it?
You gotta have the Jesus Christ sacrifice scene like they
did that in the Marvel Spider-Man video game on PlayStation.
They also did it across the Spider-Verse when they were training. He was training for it, and they ran across. So some pivotal things that make Spider-Man Spider-Man. You gotta have these.
You gotta throw them in there, but
or steal them.
You want to call it that, but so we got Harry in the first episode. We didn't get any Harry in the second episode, but what we did get in the second episode, we saw a little bit more of Lonnie. We saw them, getting ready for the big game. There's, their good luck charm was having everybody rub the trophy so they could win, and they gave it to Peter because he's excited about Peter's internship. So he was like, "Oh, you rub the trophy now." And so we get this budding friendship between Peter and Lonnie, which probably is going to come to a crossroads at some point. But we also follow Lonnie home. We get Peter getting ready to go. He was leaving school. Lonnie was leaving school. It's like, hey, we don't have practice, so I'm just gonna head home early. And we see that Lonnie doesn't live in the area. Like, he has to take a full commute home.
I don't know.
He doesn't get home until after dark. But so
you can somebody address.
But so we see that Lonnie is in probably a lower class neighborhood. We hear the sirens, or we see the police lights. We see some homeless people on the street. We see him get home. He has both his parents, which is rare for characters in these type of situations. He has his mom and his dad.
One of those characters is gonna die, Spider.
Probably. But he has both of his parents. He has a little brother. His dad asked him to take a look at his homework, and it looks like he has a pretty, from appearances, appears to be a stable household. Because he came back, he was like, hey, I asked the shop teacher about your car. He said it's probably the carburetor. I'll see if I can, work on it. His mom is like, oh, I appreciate it. You're always so helpful. And so, but we see when it's like a frame or two when Lonnie tells Peter that he's just going to go ahead and head home early, and Peter walks off, we see Lonnie's demeanor shift. Like, he's like, hey, I'll see you later. And then when Peter leaves, he just like, his face drops, his posture drops. Like, it doesn't seem like he's excited to go home because he has to go back to, but he has to go back to the life that he has at home, which doesn't seem, and even because they changed it from daytime to nighttime, it's like his life at home is darker than what it is when he's at school.
That was a good transition.
Yeah.
I like that.
But we get that. So how much more, because we had a whole, I guess maybe 2 to 3 minutes where we were just simply focused on Lonnie and his, traveling home. Lonnie walking to his building, getting into.
I see where you're going with this.
And so
I see where you're going.
How much more are we going to focus on Lonnie going throughout this series?
Not at all.
You don't think
we got time for that? I knew where you were going.
Here's my thing. If we're not going to be focusing on Lonnie in depth like this anymore in the series, why do we do it here in episode 2?
Well, I joke, but unless you're going to show that transition about how he becomes Tombstone and have you invested in the character, if you're doing that, then yes, we'll dive back into that. But with the episodes being as crunched as they are, and well, I'll say that, but I'll say this, Spider. No telling, because again, this is a Elseworld story, it's a multiversal story, it's a different dimension story, and we've clearly from the ending jumped into our own, from the iteration of the multiversal
we're essentially
Spider.
Rewriting origin stories.
Right. This is different. And we're giving you the nostalgia of some of the stuff that you used to know, but at the same time, we're telling a different story.
Right.
This Spider came from who knows where. In this dimension, we have the opposition of a darker tone. But, because we know the characters, at some point they're going to turn. Are they going to share that transformation here? They share Spider-Man's transformation, so they may share all of these transformations. Here's the question that I'm going to ask, because again, Spider-Man's villains are known to him. He knows they're no kind of, not all, but there's a personal, like the Lizard is
Dr.
Professor
Connors, he
Connors,
knows that Mysterio is Quentin Beck. He knows
right?
that Tombstone is Lonnie
Dr.
Lincoln.
Octavius
Right.
is,
Is Dr.
Otto
Octopus.
Octavius.
Yeah.
Like they're closely connected, and that's what was one of the things that makes Spider-Man who he is. So you may see that in this. If you don't see that in this, is it enough to make you watch continuously?
I mean, you have to watch in order to figure out if you're going to see the payoff or not.
That's how they make money. Now you know the secret. Now we exposed it. That's how you make money, because you don't know and you have to watch so you can see, and then at the end we can let you know if it's super or if it's not, because we're going to judge it hard.
Not any harder than we judge anything else.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But it's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You can't really get it wrong, can you?
Yes, you absolutely can. Yeah, 100% you can. There's an absolutely wrong way to do this.
Well, let me ask you this question. Ask you this. So for the first 2 episodes of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that's playing on Disney.
There you go.
Agatha talking.
Does she snap?
No, but she does a lot of hand stuff.
Rephrase that.
I will not. I will not. I love Agatha. Has the first 2 episodes set the tone that it's looking like a upward project? I can't ask you if it's super or not, because again, it's not of a whole, so we can't close it like that or even continue it like that. But is it the trajectory of what it needs to? You of all people, this is such a pivotal question, because you of all people, you started the show saying one of your favorite, come on, you're Spider,
right?
He's Spider-Man, so there's a difference. We can't get sued, but it's important to know the inspiration that it has on you. Is this hitting the mark or is it failing? Because again, we're all over the place,
right? I'm treating this, like I said, we're not judging, or I'm not judging the show any harsher than I would any other show, just because I enjoy watching Spider-Man more than I enjoy watching other characters and learning about other characters, anything like that. The first 2 episodes that we've gotten, it is following. I can see that they have a storyline that they're trying to get to. We talked about the plotting out of the episodes, where sometimes in shows we'll have the first 2 episodes, the first 3 episodes, and then every episode after that comes out week to week. My guess is that the way they have these episodes grouped is that they fit together better, because I think that if we got episode 1 and then had to wait a week and then got episode 2, I feel like that would be 2 weeks of where we really didn't get much of anything, because there was not a lot going on in these first 2 episodes. They gave Spider-Man his abilities and they started setting up relationships. So we know the relationship between Peter and Nico. We know the relationship between Peter and Pearl. Now we have a relationship developing between Peter and Lonnie. We got an introduction to Harry.
They're part of the cool kids now.
Right. Because they got invited to the party where Peter couldn't make it because he was at his internship, and then he went to go put out not put out a fire, but to save people from a fire.
Well, he had to fight the villain.
He had to, who was burning down a wrong building.
Burn down the wrong building. It's like, dude, you're on the wrong street.
Like you're on
the commitment to continue to burn it down.
Yeah.
Though. Already started.
He's like, this building sucks. But we get we're getting slight introductions into everybody. We're getting, like I said, we get the peek into the character of Peter Parker. Again, my gripe is that we're constantly being told how intelligent he is, but not being shown how intelligent he is. We also got the introduction, and I know we didn't mention before, but we got the introduction of Amadeus Cho, who becomes a Hulk in his own right.
Hulkling, which is actually not a Hulk. He's actually a Skrull.
Right, so, right.
I don't know.
But we'll see that at some point. We got introduction into a character from Wakanda, which
wait a second, because Hulkling is actually not a villain though.
No, nobody said he was a villain.
No, okay, okay.
No. I'm just saying that we.
I said he was a Skrull and didn't.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Right. Well, Hulkling's not a villain, but yeah. So we got an introduction to a character from Wakanda. She showed up. She's a part of the internship.
Right.
And then,
not a part of the royal family.
No, not a part of the royal family. Which again, surprising to see because she really looked like she was modeled after Shuri. She looks similar to the way Shuri appeared in Black Panther. So we don't know. Because when she turned around and before she said anything, I was like, is that supposed to be Shuri?
Which, again, has happened in the comics. I mean, not the comics, the animated show. Shuri has gone off to study abroad.
Yeah.
In different iterations. But clearly, Kevin Feige or Marvel said, no,
not Shuri. She's from Wakanda.
She's from Wakanda.
She's not Shuri.
Which is interesting because that outreach program is real.
Right. Oscorp got their hands everywhere. But so from these first two episodes, it's not clear exactly where we're going. Right. So we don't know what the through line is yet. But what we did get, like you mentioned before, the end of episode 2, we get Norman Osborn discovering that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And
caught him slipping.
Here's what I'm assuming is going to happen. I think we're going to get, because, and especially since we got the whole Civil War homage to Peter coming home, finding Norman Osborn on the couch with his aunt, the same way we saw Tony Stark on the couch with his aunt in Civil War.
Okay.
I think that we're going to get
the Dark Avengers.
No. Norman is going to be to Peter in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man what Tony was to Peter in the MCU. Not to the extent of, Peter, I don't want to say worshiping Tony, but wanting to be like Tony, as we saw in Homecoming.
Why can't we find our own identity in this Spider?
I don't know. But we see in the promotional material that Peter eventually gets a new suit. He'll have the iconic red and blue suit. We also seen him in the Anti-Venom suit, which was the white and black suit. And in that cover art, there
also in the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, also in the Spider-Man 2 game. Well, it depends on which Spider-Man game you're talking about.
1 and 2.
He didn't have the Anti-Venom.
The Anti-Venom suit, the white and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
It's in 1 too.
It was
and 2.
I know it's definitely in 2 because it's a big part of the story in 2. But I guess it's just a customizable thing in Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe something like that.
You would know, and it's okay that you would know. I'm okay with you knowing.
But we see that in the images that they release is that he has like a couple different suits, or we see a couple different variations. So I'm thinking that once Norman
didn't know Spider-Man had a girlfriend, you would think that he, with all the suit changes, you would think he was flaming. You would think so, because there's a lot of suits. Not flaming in the stylish. He has a lot of suits. He has a lot of suits.
He does.
He has a lot of suits. What's that joke Dave Chappelle said? Same hero, new boots. It's the same hero. Everybody don't know who he is because he keep changing his boots. It's like same hero, new boots. He's like, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. You look different though.
Just new suit. They actually make a joke about it in the not the Amazing Spider-Man, in Spider-Man 2, the video game. They make a joke about it because he gets you can change your suit every whenever you unlock new suits.
Yeah.
But in the game, following the story, he's in the red and blue, and then he gets the symbiote, so he goes into black, and then when he becomes anti-venom, he goes into the white and black. And there's like a podcast feed of JJ like just going on his rants, babes, like a whole InfoWars type podcast or whatever, Alex Jones type thing of him just ranting and screaming into the microphone. And he actually talks about like Spider-Man is changing his suit again, and how he's like he should be, if he wants to be a crime fighter, he needs to be more focused on fighting the villains in the city instead of worried about changing his suits every day. But it's funny.
You want the man to fight in the same suit? Hey, what if Spider-Man sweats profusely and he needs to change his suits? I respect it.
Look, it's laundry day. I got to come out with something different.
Remember how Megatron always have to announce himself in Transformers every time he come alive? Spider-Man got to do the same thing because he got a new suit.
And I mean, it's both of them, because it's Megatron and Optimus Prime. Because at the end of every movie, I am Optimus Prime. Like, yeah, dude, we know. We've been watching you for 5 movies now.
We watch you the whole movie. We know who you are. Oh my God. We got it.
But yeah,
I'm Megatron.
And Megatron's like, dude, we know.
Said your name 16 times before you even came alive. Like, that's Megatron. We know.
But
so it is hitting the trajectory for you, or
I can't say that it's going. It's not going down. It's not going down. I will preface with that, but it's not going up either. Right now, I'm waiting to see where we're going with this, because it was like it's been like steady like this the whole way through.
So you
and
then
at the end of episode 2, it just went. It did that.
It got a little erection.
I wouldn't call it that.
But
what I'm saying is that
is because which one?
No, absolutely neither. It's neither of them. But what I'm saying is that
this is tingling. You wouldn't fall for the trap.
What I'm saying is that now there is interest, because there are very few scenarios.
Reveal it. It's okay. This show reveals everything all the time. So
there are shows that reveal everything, but there are very few instances where this early into Peter's career as Spider-Man that his identity is revealed to someone who's going to be one of his biggest foes in his story. So he's been Spider-Man for just a few months.
Yep.
And now Norman knows that he's Spider-Man. But what I'm saying is that I think that he's going to now be the benefactor of Peter and all of his ventures and everything. He's going to try to mold him in a certain way. And, he's going to be giving him the suits and all this other kind of stuff. And so Peter and his admiration of Norman Osborn is going to follow him and think that he's, pointing him in the right direction. And
only for the betrayal to come later.
Yeah, and I feel like that's gonna come at the end of the season, because I think
first of all, y'all heard that first. Spider dropped that news, so y'all go see that betrayal and just remember who dropped it first.
We already have all of the episode titles of all of the shows. So like I said, we had Amazing Fantasy for episode 1. We had the Parker Luck for episode 2. Episode 3, Secret Identity Crisis. So that's going to go more into him trying to balance being Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because we already saw the struggles, because he was at his internship and he wanted to go to the party with Nico, but he couldn't do either because he had to go and be Spider-Man, which ended up getting him caught, because if he didn't leave the internship to go be Spider-Man, Norman would have never saw it on the security cameras. So
this is very true.
Secret Identity Crisis. Episode 4, hitting the big time, which I'm going to assume is that now he's getting the suit from Norman. Now he's becoming the Spider-Man of fame and legend, and he's going to
run out there like Toby.
Exactly.
Like Toby.
Episode 5, The Unicorn Unleashed. I'm going to assume that that's something to do with Rhino, because I don't know of any unicorn-based villains that Spider-Man has, but I'm just thinking of the one horn, thinking Rhino, so that's where I think episode 5 is going. So those 3 are coming out February 5th. February 12th, we start with episode 6, Duel with the Devil. Clearly Daredevil is going to be making an appearance.
Wait a minute. You say those 3 come out. Wait, you mean one a week, right?
No, those 3 are coming out February 5th. I told you.
They're dropping one day with 3 episodes.
Yes, that's what I told you. We got the first 2 episodes. This upcoming week, we have 3 episodes. Next week, we have 3 episodes. And then the week after that, we have 2 episodes. I told you we have 8 more episodes coming out in 3 weeks.
Understand the logic at all.
I don't just want to
put that out there.
But yeah, episode 6, Duel with the Devil. Again, that's going to be Daredevil. He's going to, cross paths with Daredevil. How that's going to go, who knows? Episode 7, Scorpion Rising. Clearly, that's going to be Scorpion. I don't know if it's going to go into the same, like with all of this. I don't know if we're going to get J. Jonah Jameson going up against, his whole vengeance against vigilantes and stuff like that. Because in the comics, JJ funded the research or the experiment to give Mac Gargan his Scorpion suit. He basically helped create Scorpion. So that's horrible. Scorpion Rising, I don't know if we're going to get JJ through all of this stuff. Spider-Man comes out, he's doing things, and they're going to be like, oh, well, Spider-Man's a menace. He's a vigilante. He's a threat. He's, causing chaos. So I need to do something in order to stop him. And he ends up funding Scorpion to become, who Scorpion is.
I just had the idea and understanding of this. Though I understand Spider-Man is its own world, and I understand everything else in Marvel that lives inside of New York is its own world and its own thing. I just find it interesting that we're now coming into the MCU where all these things are merging. And J. Jonah Jameson, knowing that they have all this other stuff going on, only can talk about Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, you gotta imagine that the newspaper
in a bar with a metal claws
that's being covered by somebody else. That's their online portion.
We have a whole celestial entity in the ocean.
If we're talking about modern day, so we're not talking about Daily Bugle having newspapers on the street and all this other kind of stuff. So we're talking about websites. You take a website like BuzzFeed, where on any given day you might have 20, 30 articles posted. Right? Opinions, editorials, food, all of this other kind of stuff. So if you have the Daily Bugle as a website, you can cover all of these different things. You can talk about Spider-Man, you can talk about Tiamat, you can talk about reports of a man with metal claws in a bar fight. So they can have all of these different things going on all at once.
All right. Well, we're going to fixate in this narration.
Yeah. I mean, they do it now. You have every day in the New York Times, you have an article about one person in particular.
Hey, listen, I can't pass Us Weekly without seeing Tom Cruise, Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. They on the cover almost every damn week.
And they're on that weekly, right? They've been dominating it for like 30 years. So I don't understand that relationship staying strong. Every now and then they'll get.
Oh, it's absolutely not staying strong. I think they're divorced again.
It doesn't matter. I need them on. And that's the headline right there. Divorced again. Put Tom Cruise on it. Put Jennifer Aniston on it. Put Angelina Jolie on it. They're not even together. Just put them on the cover together.
The top divorces of 2024.
Another banger, and put them on that for that time frame. And just another couple of people were selling out. They're selling out. Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood. Spider-Man. There's a lot of ground to cover.
There is. Episode 8, Tangled Web. That could be anything.
That's clearly a Madam Web episode.
I don't think she's gonna be in this.
Madam Web
it's
real.
too much. It's too much to try to introduce Madam Web into this right now. because you're taking.
What are you talking about?
Because
this is a multiversal story.
Exactly, because you're taking exactly what we're talking about at the beginning of why we're introducing the multiverse into this when it's really not necessary. Because you take and you introduce Madam Web into this.
That cat's out the bag.
I understand that, but now we don't need her adding into this when we still don't have. We're talking about 8 episodes in. This is not enough time to fully flesh out a story for Peter Parker before introducing.
When has that ever been? When has that ever mattered to Disney Marvel?
You can't. I mean, we didn't get multiverse until we got to in the MCU. We didn't get the multiverse until when?
You got a hint at it at Far From Home, and then you got a confirmation from Doctor Strange and Multiverse.
Okay, so we're talking about Far From Home. This was how many years into the MCU?
You mean the multiverse is real? That's what I'm referring.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying we still developed Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy. We've done all of these first before we got to multiverse.
All of that. All that's canon.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that we don't need to throw the multiverse in 8 episodes into a new show. This is not enough time for us to understand who your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is. It's in the title. He needs to be in the neighborhood. No. We don't need him jumping into different universes if he's supposed to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You're lucky if he's not in A2 what's that movie? The studio name
A24.
A24. You're lucky he's not in there because he's a multi-dimensional hopping entity. Kevin Feige
right now he's not though. That's my whole thing. Right now he's not. If you want to introduce that later down the line,
interdimensional spider that came and bit him. He's already a part of the multi-dimension.
That's my complaint is because it wasn't necessary for him to do that because there's so many other ways that we could have altered this spider to bite this man or bite this kid. Because
he's just a kid.
It wasn't necessary. If we want to have Doctor Strange, have Doctor Strange. If you want to have a symbiote monster, have a symbiote monster, but make them local to this universe. It doesn't make sense for them to come from somewhere else.
I can see you go be in the comment section.
I'm not going to be in anybody's comment section. They might have comments coming from my head. I don't care.
They might have comments coming from my head.
We don't know.
I welcome them.
But, I welcome them. So those next 3 are coming out February 12th. February 19th, which we get the last 2 episodes, Hero or Menace. Again, I'm thinking that JJ is going to be in here somewhere because that was a headline of the Daily Bugle, Spider-Man, Hero or Menace. So that's going to be.
I can see that.
That's going to be following that. And then episode 10, the last episode of the season, If This Be My Destiny. So I'm guessing that there's going to be some struggle where he sees that the public may view him as being a menace. So it might be a whole. I hope he doesn't. I pray that he doesn't. But he's going to, I'm assuming that episode 10 is where he's going to, his resolve is going to be cemented and say that if this be my destiny, this is who I'm going to be. The public is going to perceive me one way, but I know in my heart that I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to help people. I'm going to do the best that I can to make sure that people are safe. And so I'll take them viewing me as a menace if it means that I can still be a hero and save people.
End up in the 616 or somewhere across the Spider-Verse. Just know that we called it first here on All Things Super,
and we'll see if we're right or wrong.
Well, it's not a theory if we're right.
It's not a spoiler if we're correct. It's still a theory, but it's not a spoiler if we just turn out to be right. Time theory.
Well, I don't want to step on Paul's theory time thing. So it's time theory.
Time theory.
It's a time for a theory.
It's time for a theory.
There you go. Shout out to everybody, man. Everybody in this space that's doing it. Shout out to the truck drivers and the bus drivers and all the ambulance drivers, not Madam Web, and anybody else that's driving. Uber, Lyft, shout out to all the drivers, semi, Not the automated ones. Not the no, you guys don't get it. Just the live drivers, the school bus drivers, and all the other drivers. That's what I'm saying. Equipment operators, everybody that drives. That's it. Airplane, you know what? That guy that pushes the planes onto the runway, that guy or girl. You know, planes can't go backwards. They got to push them.
I know.
Shout out to those drivers. They don't get enough recognition. Your plane won't fly until I drive it off to the. Y'all don't. Silent heroes, Spider. That's who they are. I'm just letting them know. Shout out to all of them. I know, neighborhood Spider-Man, but it's the small jobs, not the small. I'm saying what you're saying, Spider. You're saying you need your Spider-Man to do the small jobs,
right?
Not this multi-dimensional stuff.
Right.
It's too late though. He's already been bitten by a multi-dimensional spider. That I don't know. It came. Maybe it's like a spot. Maybe it just came from another section in that universe that Doctor Strange was fighting his symbiote, and it just teleported.
If it was, then that makes the line of "we're not supposed to be here" just that
stupid,
much more out of place.
Very out of place. Well, if we weren't supposed to be here because he was fighting them there, maybe. I don't know. I can't listen. I try to speak for the man babies. It didn't go well for me. I'm trying to defend artistic decisions that we don't understand. We may not get an answer for a Spider. I just need you to buckle your seatbelt, enjoy your popcorn, turn your brain down.
And the reason why I don't think that we're going to get any explanation to it is because it's not been mentioned again since it happened. It never,
like Doctor Strange didn't even show up.
Right.
Turn all that down
because it could have easily been it could have been sort of because Nico and Peter have had several conversations at this point, and it could have easily just been because we know they're not at Midtown High, they're not at the school that they were supposed to go to, and while he's pining after Pearl and they're sitting by the lockers, it could have easily been, oh, this is been such a whirlwind since that alien, that monster attacked, and and it can't. They don't even have to name him as Doctor Strange because I don't think they knew who Doctor Strange was. But it could just been like, it's been so crazy since that monster dropped out of the sky, and we could have just had a nod of Peter like scratching the back of his neck because that's what the spider bit him. He was like, yeah, I know it's been real weird, and it's just acknowledge that it happened. We talk about this whole thing with Tiamat popping out of the ocean and nobody ever acknowledging it, and we not getting it until now here in Captain America, but. Acknowledge that the thing
honestly,
happened.
It doesn't really fit in Captain America, but I got you. We got to acknowledge it at some point. But now we shoehorned it in there, and now we got a movie that probably won't do that well. But
I mean, from your lips to God's ears, I
don't know. I believe in Anthony Mackie. He's our captain. But the interesting thing about this too is like in Far From Home and well, I won't say the other one, but their best friends know that they're Spider-Man. And this one, we didn't tell at all. She doesn't know that he's Spider-Man. He kept that secret to himself.
And she's going to find out at some point. Maybe in Secret Identity Crisis, she might find out.
They got you hooked, Spider. You got to watch.
Do they, though? I mean, I'm going to watch, but for like we was talking about for the casual viewer, for the casual audience, I don't know if those first 2 episodes were enough to hook them. I think you have to be interested in Spider-Man to want to continue to watch the story.
I think they stole the moment, the WTF moment, by having Norman Osborn know that he was Spider-Man. And again, you're not seeing something original. You're just seeing remixes of
what we've already saw.
It's kind of like we're gonna take this, and this, and put it together, and you're gonna be happy with it. You're gonna be satisfied with it because we're gonna stick a Spider-Man logo on it. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Spider. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for the decisions that they've made to pay off. That's what I'm waiting for.
And we may come back to this and say that we were all wrong. Well, we didn't say anything right or wrong. We're just saying as a trajectory, it was here, and then Spider said it got an erection, and then it's now here.
Those are not my words.
That it got aroused, and now it's
also not my words.
It piqued his interest.
Yes, that is what I said. A little bit at the end of episode 2.
Both, but not a lot. So it kind of not full mass, but it's chubby. Like, we'll see where it goes. We'll see. If they introduce some original stories, we can possibly see something that we've never seen before. Because it seems like everything we're seeing now is something that we've seen before. Way to be original, Spider-Man first class. Oh, wait, no. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't know what we are right now. I'm just doing. I like Spider-Man. Who doesn't love Spider-Man? I want them done right, though, Spider. I don't want them done wrong. Yeah. Who green like this show? It feels like the same writers that did She-Hulk came over here. You'll see. If he breaks the fourth wall, which, you know,
he's not going to do.
There's some iterations of Spider-Man that breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll do that.
I think it was a spectacular Spider-Man that did it. One of them. I wasn't sure. There's so many spider entities.
There are a lot of different Spider-Man entities.
That's what I'm saying. If they pull from everything,
Steve Ditko and Stan Lee credited as writers on the show.
And you know what? They should have both of those guys, legendary icons in the comic book space. But they can't. I don't think they can't. I think they co-created them together, right?
Yeah, I believe.
Spider, you and I should co-create characters and put them out there for the world to see. Notice the dramatic hand. Did you see the dramatic hand?
Yes, I did.
It was the dramatic hand. Put them out there so the world could see. We can't say Spider-Man though. Yeah, Spider. Maybe. Depending on how many people try to steal it after they see this video.
I don't know. But let us know what you thought about the first 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Were you feeling it? Were you not feeling it? Was it not? Did it start here and then like Spider it got a little bit of kind of
don't say it.
You know? Did it pique your attention? Did it kind of fizzle out? Did it Spider? Maybe it's one of those. I can't do the whole because I don't want to get sued. But it's like this.
I don't think they put a trademark on a.
I don't know because Deadpool did it, but Deadpool is their stuff too. They could do what they want with their stuff. I don't want no smoke. When I said all of his villains were black, I lost audio, and I don't want no problems.
I told you they're watching you.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not that important. Clearly, I am.
Well, we'll find out. But let us know what you thought about the show. Let us also know what you thought about this episode. Remember, if you liked the video, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
And leave a comment because we do read those comments. Y'all might don't think we do, but we do. At least we do.
Yeah.
I don't know who else does.
I mean, we read them. You leave a comment, other people read them, and then next thing you know, y'all get in a conversation, and you can yell at each other in the comments.
As you should, because sometimes some people get out of pocket and they need to respect your mind. You can't just sit there and let them say what they said. You need to respond to them hit the keys with intensity. But hit the like button and the subscribe button and the follow button and stuff before you hit the keys and everything.
There you go.
But
yeah, so we got 3 weeks, 8 episodes, and we'll find out where they're going to be taking this show.
No sense.
But we'll see how it turns out.
No sense. In case you don't like Captain America, you got 2 other episodes of Spider-Man. What happens if you don't like Captain America or Spider-Man? Yeah. Can we say Marvel is not back, or just?
You
sweep it under the rug until Thunderbolts come out.
It's up to your interpretation and your opinion, I guess.
We're about to find this is about to be a hot summer.
We're still in winter.
I know. That's how hot it's gonna be. Projections are it's gonna be a hot summer.
I don't know. We'll find out. But we will be back and we'll talk about the rest of the episodes at some point. But we'll be back and we'll be talking about Invincible next week because Invincible comes back.
Hey man, I don't want cross universes no more than I always do, but I always do. And I'm excited to see where they're going with the Young Invincible because he is. That's when you insert the title cards.
There you go. But we'll be back in the next episode. We hope that you will be too. But until then, just remember, keep being super.